Happy Thursday, prayer team. Happy Thursday, connections team. This is our regular Thursday check-in. Last week, I had some specific information for each team, so I sent separate check-ins. This one will be to both teams at the same time. Let's talk about two things real quick up front, and then we'll get down to business. First of all, Easter is coming up. We are just a month away. That means a couple of things for us. We will have some guests in the house. I'm outside of the building just because I'm thinking about there's going to be people that walk through those doors for the first time on Easter. Some will come for tradition. Some will be coming because they're led by the Lord to come. We're going to have guests in the house, though. And I think it's a great opportunity for folks to respond to the gospel. With that said, on Easter Sunday, we'll be having 3 services. Our normal 9 o'clock and 11:30, and also at 12 o'clock. I'm going to be having Desiree send some invites so that we can cover both Connection Central and prayer ministry for both of those extra slots. And I don't take it for granted when people come and serve on Easter. We'll have some breakfast tacos and maybe some other treats available for those of y'all that serve on Easter. I know that sometimes that's a sacrifice. We have our own meals to prepare for our families those days. But I just want to thank you ahead of time for being there and being available to serve. Okay? So be checking out your email for an invite in order to serve on Easter. Second, we're plugging through the Beatitudes. And I've got to admit, this next Beatitude is my favorite Beatitude. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall have their fill. Think about what society was like, specifically Jewish society was like back then. There were strict laws, and then there were these hedge laws written down in the Mishnah and the Gemara that put even higher restrictions and constraints on these laws. And people are just doing their best to try to live up to what the law has them live. Try to be righteous. Try to have an okay relationship with God and God not be mad at them. These people were hungry and thirsty for righteousness. Well, Jesus says, blessed are you who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for you'll be filled. You'll have all that you want of being righteous. And the fact is that Jesus afforded us this righteousness. All throughout the New Testament, almost every single letter that Paul writes, he talks about our righteousness. There's a way that it's put, though, in Romans that I love, and I've just been meditating on a little bit today. I'd like to share it with you. This is Romans chapter 5. I'll start in about verse 14. It said, nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over those that had not sinned, according to the likeness of the transgression of Adam. So people didn't have righteousness, even if they didn't do this big, terrible sin. There was still separation, and they couldn't afford righteousness, being in good relationship with God. But the free gift, here we go, verse 15, but the free gift is not like the offense. For if by one man's offense many died, death means separation from God and all of its result, right? Much more the grace of God and the gift by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, abounded to many. And the gift is not like that which came through the one who sinned, for the judgment which came from one offense resulted in condemnation. But the free gift which came from many offenses resulted in justification. You are justified in the sight of God. I've heard shorthand for that saying, just as if I had never sinned. There's nothing that separates you from God because of what Jesus did, not because of your perfection, not because of your consistency or inconsistency, but because of what Jesus did. So verse 17 says this, for if by one man's offense death reigned through the one, much more those who receive the abundance of grace. Look at that, it's not just enough grace, it's an abundance of grace. God has offered you more grace than you even need. Who receive the abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness will reign in life through the one, Jesus Christ. Sometimes that's hard for us to receive. We imagine that there's separation between God and us because of the way we feel or what we've done. What Paul is saying here is that you've been made righteous. What Jesus is saying in the Beatitudes is that I know you've wanted to be right with God. You've wanted to be close with him. You've wanted to be a friend. And guess what? You are now. This righteousness is yours. Live in that today. Walk in that today. If you're having a down day, remind yourself that you are in perfect relationship with God. He's not changed his mind about you. He loves you. And the abundance of grace is for you. The abundance of grace is for you. And then I want to issue this challenge. If that's the way that God relates to us, let's think about the way that we're relating to other people. Sometimes it's easy for us to want to withhold righteousness from other people. Now, I'm not saying submit to the abuse of others or put yourself in a place to be a victim of other people, but if God has afforded us such righteousness, we should seek righteousness, right standing in our relationships with other people. So I think it's powerful that over the last 2 Sundays, Pastor Travis has shared about reconciling or making right relationship with people. I had 2 conversations with folks that went to pursue right relationship with others. One of them, it didn't go so well, but just letting go of that and allowing themselves to pursue right relationship, even with someone who had wronged them, freed them from something internally. Let's step into the abundance of grace that God has for us. It's more than enough for us. It's enough for those around us. Okay, I'm already at 6 minutes. I'm sorry, I've been talking too much. So I'll see y'all this Sunday. I'll actually be hosting this Sunday, and I've got a baptism to do right after second service, but I will be around. I can't wait to see y'all Sunday. Thanks, and have a great rest of your week. See you this weekend. Peace.